Hey, what's going on, fellow money lovers? Let's talk about 10 really valuable wheat pennies to keep an eye out for. Now, some of these are going to be much harder to find than others, but let's start our list off with number 10, the 1917 double die wheat penny. These usually have a value of around $100 to $200, but some of them can go for a couple grand. The 1917 double die wheat penny shows what's called Class 5 doubling. This is also known as pivoted hub doubling. It's not a very strong double die, and the doubling is mostly seen on the date on these coins or in the words "In God We Trust." This is a very popular coin with many collectors, not just penny collectors, and it's one that you can keep an eye out for, although wheat cents in general are getting a little bit harder to find, but a great coin nonetheless. In 2019, the finest known example of one of these coins sold, and that was for $180,000. At number 9, the 1931 wheat penny. These typically go for around $100 to $200. The auction record price is almost $19,000. The 1931 Lincoln wheat penny is a key date in the series with only 866,000 of these things made. Although it may sound like a lot, the average mintage numbers are usually in the millions for pretty much any coin. This was the last penny minted at the San Francisco Mint until a few years later in 1935. The 1931 cent was collected by many people, so it's easy to purchase in uncirculated grades as it was popular right when it came out. As with most Lincoln cents, the ones designated red fetch the highest numbers when they're graded. In 2021, an MS66 Plus red sold for $18,600. At number 8, the 1909 wheat penny. Now, many of you have probably heard about this. These typically go for around $200 to $300 depending on condition. And the auction record price was back in 2004, but I believe a few have sold since then for much higher. And at the time was $69,000. The 1909 Lincoln wheat penny is a semi-key date, and it's highly desirable in pretty much any grade, though it's not as popular as another coin we'll talk about, which is the VDB variety. And this coin had a 1.8 million mintage, and you can actually find these out there much more readily than you would think, comparatively to other wheat cents. At number 7, the 1909 over horizontal wheat penny. Now, this is one of those great error coins. It's also known as a repunched mint mark error. And these usually sell for an upwards to $300 to $500, depending on condition. Graded ones and record auction prices have gone from 30 to 50 grand, if not more. The 1909 over horizontal is an error coin, like I said. What happened was that the first S was punched into the die in the wrong direction, and the orientation of that S was off. It was then corrected with a second S over top of it. All mint marks were hand-punched into the dies prior to 1990, so you can tell this is just human error. An MS67 red specimen of this coin sold back in 2022 for $32,900. At number 6, the 1914 wheat penny. These can sell for an upwards of $2 or $3 grand. Auction price for this is close to $200,000. The 1914 Lincoln wheat penny is a great key date in the series, and it's the most valuable non-error part of this series. With a mintage of 1.19 million, it's actually one of the lowest mintages amongst wheat cents altogether, and it can be difficult to find ones that are in really good condition. But there are uncirculated examples out there and ones that are graded really high. But this is one of the most popular coins for counterfeiters to remake and resell. About 5 years ago in 2018, late 2018, an MS66 red coin sold for close to $165,000. At number 5, I mentioned this coin earlier. It's called the 1909 VDB wheat penny, and you've probably heard about this coin. They can sell typically for around $1,500 to like $3 grand, depending on condition. but record prices are over $200,000 or even $250,000. The 1909 S VDB Lincoln Wheat Cent is super challenging to acquire, so it's not one you're just going to come across and change. Definitely one of the most popular coins to collect, and also one of the most counterfeited along with the one I just mentioned. So authentication is going to be super recommended by me and pretty much anybody in the field of collecting coins if you ever think you found an authentic one. In April of 2022, an MS67 Red wheat cent from 1909 sold for $171,000. So these things can get up there, and there's ones that have sold, I believe, for more than that, but you can correct me in the comments. At number 4, we have the 1922 D No D wheat penny. Now these things are super, super valuable. They can be in upwards of $15,000 or $20,000. Record prices are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1922 D No D Lincoln wheat cent is the only circulation strike in the entire series that does not have the intended mint mark on it. At the time, the Denver Mint was the only mint producing the pennies, and the coin should have had a D mint mark. But due to the intense pressure to get the coins out and running behind schedule, the mint suffered from a bit of pretty much straight up human error and sloppiness, and a huge batch of these pennies never got the mint mark on them, and have pretty much been a collector item ever since their release. So a 1922 No D wheat penny sold back in 2012, and then another one in 2016, both of which sold for over $100,000. At number 3, the 1955 Double Die wheat penny. These typically go for well over $1,000, pretty much in any condition, depending on the doubling. The 1955 Double Die Lincoln wheat cent, it's super famous, and it's probably up there in the top 3 most popular Lincoln wheat cents. The doubling on this wheat cent is so dramatic, it's just visible to the naked eye. There was 24,000 of these that are out there. But as always, these really desirable coins means that there's a ton of fakes, but these are valued really, really well if graded really high, and if the doubling is really prevalent on the coin. One of them sold back in 2020 for over $150,000. The last 2 on our list are really oddball ones, and that's the 1944 steel cent and the 1943 bronze cent. We'll start with the 44 steel cent, and it was created by sheer accident. It's thought that either steel blanks from a previous year had been left behind and accidentally struck, or steel blanks from another type of coin that the mint was producing at the time were mixed in and struck on instead of copper blanks. Either way, this super rare coin was created for the collector. It's estimated that only about 25 or 30 of them exist, but then again, at one point they thought there was only 5 or 10 of them, so there might be an unset number of these out there. These coins can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. One back in 2021 was graded MS64 and sold for almost $200,000. Last on our list at the first spot is the 1943 bronze cent. These go for hundreds of thousands of dollars as well. One sold in the last couple of years, I think, for around $200,000. And it's one of the most coveted coins in just any collector book and anything with numismatics. During 1943, when this coin was produced, copper was needed for the war efforts, so the mint ceased production of copper pennies, and they switched over for the first and, well, the last time, to steel cents. But several copper planchets were left behind, and they were struck with the 1943 dated dies. There are a bunch of frauds out there for this coin, but you can do a quick and easy test on them to see if they're authentic. If you think you found a 1943 bronze cent, you just grab a magnet and try to pick up the penny. If it's attracted, then it's made of copper-plated steel, and it is a counterfeit. If it's not attracted to the magnet, then you may have an authentic coin, but you're still going to have to get it authenticated. In 2021, an MS62 brown graded coin sold for $372,000. Let me know what you think about these 10 valuable wheat pennies and their crazy values in the comments below. Keep an eye out for another list of valuable wheat pennies, which are ones that I feel you might have a better chance of actually finding in circulation as you go through wheat pennies or find them in those oddball stacks of change or in your old change jar. But I have another list coming out in a video that'll cover ones that are more in the $50 and $100 range, but are more likely to be found. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. You guys are awesome. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.